Welcome to Shade and the City. I'm your girl Treese, and Nels isn't with me. It's a long story. I'll tell you after the intro, but it's actually a funny story. But yeah, so I told her I would go ahead and take care of this one for us because I was supposed to have been had done it. But anyway, it's a part of the story. So I don't get long-winded. But thank y'all for being here with me, new viewers, and all of our Shade Squad. If you haven't already, please go ahead and make sure that you hit that like button for me, especially because I'm up here doing it on my own. And yeah, and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. And y'all, let's go ahead. We're gonna do this episode. I ain't even tell y'all what we're doing. Look at that. We doing the Braxtons. It's season 1, episode 7. Like I said, I was supposed to have been done it, but there's a story behind that. But anyway, y'all, so let's get into it and let's get shady. Okay, y'all. So pretty much this whole episode was about this photo shoot, and it was very, very obviously missing Tracy heavy, but it was light. It was light. I can give it that. But okay, first of all, let me get into the story, right? So just real quick story time. So I was supposed to do this last weekend, and because it was Nels' birthday weekend, I said to myself, well, you can go ahead and knock it out, because it's gonna take her time to catch up and watch and do all that other stuff and take notes. So I was like, okay, I'll get up in here and do it by myself, right? Well, guess what, y'all? Nels decides that she's going to we were supposed to be going out. Our reservation was for 9:45. Okay. She shows up at my house. I lie to you not, 3:30 in the afternoon. Now, luckily, I'm a person that really don't be outside like that unless I have really have plans. But yeah, I was just, thank God I was here and I was chilling. So anyway, yeah. So we started sitting around pre-gaming, and before I knew it, it was time to get ready, take a nap, and get ready for dinner. And this is why you're just getting this today. So yeah, just let me put that disclaimer. But only sisters can do stuff like that. Just drop by unannounced. I was not expecting her. Anyway, so first scene that we see, Tawanda, Trina, and Miss E, they link up for some pampering and get ready for their upcoming photo shoot that they got going on, to market for the show. So Tawanda's interested to know how, basically Miss E's date went with the gentleman that we saw last episode. Now, Miss E said she was turned off because he was like purple down to the ground or whatever. And Tawanda was like, well, that's my favorite color. And so I wouldn't have minded. And I was just like, yeah, but it was a little too much. It's a little too much. Okay. But basically Miss E says she hates when her daughters try to set her up because they never get it right. And I'm just like, well, didn't we see you bring it up and ask them about setting you up? So it's not like, I'm sure they asked you from time to time, but the fact that you continue to ask them probably makes them think that you're enjoying this process. So now Trina's all excited, like I said, about the shoot. They plan to stop by to see Tony rehearse for the show that she has going on with Cedric the Entertainer. And Trina just talks about basically wanting to lose 10 pounds or lose some weight before the shoot. And basically Tawanda tells her, girl, that's what Photoshop is for. You'll be all right. And so it was a quick little joking moment while they were, pampering themselves. And I guess Trina was trying to get her hair done and she was kind of acting like she didn't have it. And I was like, for some braids? Like, I don't know. But anyway, but I guess, and they were like, well, Tawanda got hair at her house and clearly she's not using it. That was Miss Edith said that. I said, well, that ain't insensitive, but Tawanda took it like a G. She's a Virgo, and I obviously deal with one of those on a very regular basis, and they don't get offended by too much. And when they do, they'll let you know. So Tony's rehearsing for her show in LA with Cedric. She shares that at one point their kids actually dated And even though things didn't work out, I guess family still remained friendly. And then the sisters come in booing her. Tony seems to be really on this kick about wanting to tell this joke, and or just wanting to try to be funny, period. And the sisters just don't understand why she won't stick to what she knows, what she's good at. So Tony does tell her little joke, and I guess it had something to do with Mushroom and it being a fun guy. I get it, Tony, but it was super corny. But if you ask Tony, she thinks that she could be the original, one of the original queens of comedy. And I said, okay, girl. Now Tawanda and Trina and Miss E link up again for a meal after they arrive in LA. And so Tawanda says that she decided not to invite Tony because she knows she's busy with her rehearsals, and Trina's basically still feeling conscious about her body, and how it may appear in the shoot. So she talks about wanting to get back in the gym, and then we learn that she has a whole gym in her house. So I was like, well, girl, it's. I mean, hey, every people are motivated differently. I guess I can understand if somebody needs to get outside of their house to actually get active. I don't work out at home but I will go to the gym if I'm at work. So I guess I can come and understand. Trying to play advocate. So anyway, so then we learned that they're working with Derek Blanks, which is a very popular, well-known photographer. We also know that he did a video. He did Trina's music video for a song that I've never heard, to be honest. I'm sure it was on the Braxtons, but I honestly, when they showed a clip of it and I was like, I do not remember. And I know she had one. Like there is one I remember. Y'all, I'm sorry, but I love me some Trina though, so it's not trying to be shady. I don't. But anyway, so they talk about feeling, basically like they're missing something because Tracy's not there, and Tamar is also not there at this shoot. Apparently, Tamar has decided that she was going to do her shoot down in Atlanta. But anyway, and so as they're talking about missing Tracy, Trina and Tawanda go to take a selfie. And they go to take the selfie and they spot a hummingbird. And it was a really sweet and beautiful moment. And the hummingbird is just kind of flying around them. And, they all just kind of feel like, even Miss E feels like it's Tracy just basically, saying hi and letting them know that she's okay. And I thought that was just a beautiful moment. It, like I said, it was Tracy, like you miss her, but it wasn't as heavy as like just talking about when she was sick and how divided they are and whatever. So then we see the ladies in the glam before their photo shoot, and like I told y'all, Tawanda is actually really looking forward to doing this because she doesn't have any hair, and she says it feels freeing. And I can absolutely understand. And she said, trying to put on wigs and make her hair look good when it was thinning, that, what I mean? That I'm sure that made her feel more self-conscious. And we all know because she suffers from alopecia. So, and we then learned that Tawanda is actually going to speak on a radio station while they're in LA, I guess, to discuss her alopecia and her scalp line. And then Trina also, I guess, has a skin line that she's doing. So all the ladies look gorgeous. And when Tony shows up and they ask about Tamar, that's when we learn that she's going to be doing her thing down in Atlanta. And, Tony says she can't blame her trying to manage work schedule and being mom. And it just might have been too much. However, she's missing Tracy and Tamar. And it just, I guess it made it hit different for her because there's no one there to really, I guess, provide the comedic relief that we're used to Tamar and Tracy bringing to the table. So even though I think Trina's pretty funny, but I think it's funny because you're laughing at her like situation, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, we see Tamar doing her promotional shoot in Atlanta. Production asked her, if it's weird since they've always done this collectively. And she says she doesn't feel connected right now to the production, although she does feel connected to her family. And I definitely put in my notes that I felt like she was saving face. I don't think she really felt that way. I mean, who am I, right? But just to me, the vibe, it was just like, yeah, I'm gonna say this, but First of all, I really didn't want to do this show. I already feel like an outsider. Y'all have these secrets and things that y'all don't tell me. Um, but if she says that she's still connected to them, by all means. And so basically we all know she's doing the show because this is supposed to be for Tracy. But she's not into any of the other drama anymore. Basically, y'all not gonna come up here and try to make me the bad guy. Not saying that that's, but in Tamar's words and what she kind of let on, what was it, the last episode, the one before, where she made it seem like they were portraying her or she had to play a character. And basically she just wanted to be herself. So I don't know. Now then we see a moment with her. She's with her waist beads. She's got that going on. And she says that she actually uses this to, create and manifest things that she wants in her life. And so she actually cuts them off at, and she says a prayer, and basically she feels at this point it served its purpose. She talked about the one with the seashells that she got after Tracy passed, because she wore seashells in her hair. And then she basically said that she's been shedding a lot of things and still finding things out about herself. Production asked her, well, what are you looking forward to in the future? And she says, I just want to be the best version of myself at that moment. And she's still working on that. And I said, well, aren't we all, sister? I understand, fellow Pisces. I get it. Work in progress, but okay. So then we see Sean pop up and surprise Tawanda at the photo shoot. It was a really cute moment. Tawanda says basically this is one of the reasons why she loves him. She knows, he knew how important that this was to her, and to fly across the country, that basically made her feel good. Miss E even talks about how happy Tawanda is with Sean and how she lights up, whenever he's around. And I do think that they genuinely look like a good couple. I know I've heard and from other people that I watch, a lot of people don't see it for Sean, but I don't know. I guess I don't have anything against Sean. And to me, he looks like he loves on her, but and if Tawanda, I guess maybe the bigger thing, people might feel like he's dragging her because this whole, he proposed back in the day, or not, he didn't propose, but he asked for a hand in marriage and then he still hasn't proposed. And so, I'm sure people feel a way about that. But if Tawanda don't feel no ways about it, I don't feel no ways about it, right? So then Tony talks about how she understands Tamar may need her space. But they don't want her to feel like an outsider in the family. And she's just basically hopeful that the sisters can get to a point where they can come together a little bit more consistently. Tony, Trina, and Tawanda, they all sit down to finally catch up. I believe they were at Mr. Chow. It looked delicious too. And Tony was ordering a lot. They talk about how they enjoyed the shoot. Tony admits it felt like something was missing, and they agree, Tracy being there, but it was crazy because I think Tony was the only one that said something about Tamar. So Trina asked Tony how she feels about being back in Vegas, and Tony reveals that Cedric the Entertainer, his mama has lupus, and so he's very empathetic to Tony's situation. And then they talk about how she has bronchitis or is getting over bronchitis, and how I guess it can cause her lupus to flare up, or it's harder for her to sing because the lung capacity, and I can understand that. And it can also cause other complications, right? So Tawanda asked Tony if she'll ever get married again. Tony feels like, basically she's missed the marriage window. And we all know she was supposed to be engaged, or was she engaged to Birdman? Now I got to go look that back up. But I feel like they were engaged at one point, and then they weren't. And then I thought they were, I don't know, child. And so Trina says that, there is no window. And basically they joke about Trina being Elizabeth Taylor because I think she's on her third marriage now. Then they asked Tawanda about her and Sean's plans. And, Tawanda admits they've been together for 9 years, but, she likes where they are and they're happy. And she's not sure if marriage is in the cards, but basically she wouldn't mind it. And so you can absolutely tell that, I'm assuming she would say yes if he would do it, but I guess she's not like, I guess she's in the mindset, I'm not about to have my foot on this man's neck. Because as she said previously, I don't want to force someone basically to do something they're not ready to do. And I can understand that. So then Tony speculates that Tawanda might go and get married after her Vegas show, and Tawanda tells her basically if she was engaged, the world would know. So then we see Tawanda and Sean go to dinner, which they have their little nasty, inappropriate comment talk. You know, it was, you know, it's couple talk. Hey, she says that she likes the vibe between her and Sean, and talks about her appointment, and how hair is sensitive, basically for Black women, and basically she says she's okay now, but she struggled with being on the show, as I told y'all before, and losing hair and having to wear the wigs. And so Sean makes it a point that he was the first one to see her hair and basically told her how beautiful she was. And I guess that was a moment that was memorable for both of them. And I'm sure she appreciated being able to not feel judged, just show her and still be beautiful. So I think that's sweet. I just don't know if he had to be like, oh, do you remember when I and did it, and I was like, okay, but whatever. I guess it was pertinent to the conversation. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Drop down in the comments. So then Tony goes on to promote her show with Cedric on the Jennifer Hudson show. And Tony admits that she's emotionally drained and she's processing all of these feelings with Tamar and Tracy not being there. And she knows she needs to work basically further on dealing with her grief. And so with her also being under the weather a little bit, Tony is just really trying to put on a good face and get through it. Okay. And then when she goes up there, they bring up Tracy because Jennifer brings up the show coming back or returning and why they're doing it. And then she actually starts to get a little bit emotional, which I was like, I think this is one of the first times. Now, I know if Nels was here, because I feel like first episode she was getting emotional, and Nels felt like it was, very performative. Okay. But no, I absolutely think it was genuine. And I think that Tony is really good at masking. She's probably so used to just appearing to I'm okay until she's not. That I think that maybe when she does it's so unlike her that I think it's unbelievable to people sometimes, if that makes sense. But anyway, so and then her manager comes in to check in with her, and she's basically, and she's like, yeah, I'm going through a lot, and I am dealing with a lot emotionally and with my grief, and basically like I need to deal with this. It was a little bit more than I expected, because as we know, when I believe it was Tamar that talked to her, to Wanda, about continuing grief counseling, or was she going to, and she didn't really seem interested. And I think it's probably really hitting her now, like, oh, I need to deal with this, because obviously it's a lot more than what I thought it was, or that I was trying to mask. So, but yeah, that was pretty much the episode, y'all. Like I said, it was kind of light, wasn't too much. But I appreciate y'all being here with me, and excuse me for my tardiness. Again, it was not my fault. Like I said, I was not expecting her that early. Okay, maybe 8. First of all, she was supposed to meet me at the restaurant, so 9:45. Okay. Anyway, even if she showed up at 8, even if she did come here first, even if she showed up at 8, okay, but at 3:00 in the afternoon, y'all. So that was the rest of my day. That was the rest of my day. But it was okay, because she was a birthday girl. What was I supposed to say? So, all right. But yeah, y'all, if y'all haven't already, please make sure that y'all hit that like button for me. And if you haven't, please make sure you comment, that you subscribe, and that y'all go ahead and hit that notification bell so you can follow us on all the platforms. Oh, let me get my stuff going. The TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And yeah, y'all, catch us, I guess, next week or tomorrow is the new episode, when the new last episode drops of the season, I believe. So I believe we're gonna see possibly Sean propose, which would be really cute. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. But thank y'all for being here with me. Love y'all, and yeah, have a great night. Bye bye.